How many Medicare or just clients are in your book of business?
Yeah.
Now?
So in under 24 months, 2 years, I'm sitting around 400 to 500. So
Dude, that's great.
So and that's, in my opinion, faster than I thought. And this year it's going to be this AEP will be huge, which we'll get into here in a minute about the stuff that I'm doing now.
So that's like 100. I mean, how that's a pretty salty little residual income.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like what, 120 to 150K.
Yeah. It takes 350 clients for 100K in residuals a year. So.
Are you as much of a numbers person as Ty?
Yeah, I am.
I am too. I love it.
Yeah, my clients they laugh at me sometimes because I give them all these numbers, but they like it. So definitely a numbers guy. So.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. And you know what? It's crazy. You guys are out there listening, and these people are working at freaking Chick-fil-A, and like they're homeless or they're doing construction or they're on a metal roof and they're whatever, and they're just like they're not enjoying what they do, whatever it is, dude. Like 350 clients, it's equals $100,000.
Right.
What is up? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We are live in studio today with an actual special guest here. Most of my interviews are virtual nowadays, but I love it when someone is actually here. And I can tell you that I'm going to set this up, okay? Before I go to this cat, I'm going to set it up properly because you guys know, man, when I bring somebody in, it is typically a better interview and even more powerful than a lot of the interviews that we do virtually, okay? So this gentleman, I've actually known, that's a long freaking time, okay? My brother-in-law and one of my best friends is Sid James. This is his younger brother, Sid James. Sid has been in the business about 3 years. His first year was all P&C. The last couple of years have been life and health. He's only 23 years old, by the way, which is crazy. He's doing a ton of Medicare seminars, actually allowed someone to invest in his business. We'll let him talk about that and the power of Medicare seminars and what he's been doing with that. And he's wrote $1.4 million in annuities over the last few months. This individual is going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars and do it in a very quick way at a super young age. So if you're out there and you're like, dude, I kind of want to do that, then ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Sid James.
How's it going? Happy to be here.
So, thanks, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you letting me be on the podcast. So,
yeah, man. It's awesome, man. I mean, our families are always together, and
yeah, absolutely.
You kick my butt in basketball frequently when we play. Yeah, I mean, how long have so when I first met Ty, he was like, what, 14 or 15?
Yeah, would have been close to that. Yeah.
And you would have been...
He's 8 years apart, so about 6. So you know me a while.
That's crazy, dude. 23.
Little kid.
17 years, right?
Yeah.
I've seen, almost your whole life, man. It's crazy. Did you envision, I think for a lot of young people out there, one of the things I wanted to ask to really kick it off is, did you envision being 23 and having a little bit of a grasp on a career and actually making a significant income?
I mean, I always envisioned something big, not really insurance. Obviously, my dad coached basketball, coached you in high school, and wanted to make it far in basketball. But played a year in college, and then kind of Ty mentioned the insurance space to me, and was tired of dealing with injuries in sports and stuff like that. So kind of stepped away to step in insurance, and it kind of took off from there. But yeah, I always envisioned something big, didn't know what it was going to be, but always, wanted a big future, wanted big things to happen. So,
and where do you think that came from? Because there's a lot of people that are like, there's a mix between young people, like, you know what I mean? So some are like, dude, I like for me, when I was, in my teenage years, I was like, man, one of my goals would be a millionaire before I was 30, and do some cool, fun stuff. Yeah. And so there's that group, or there's the group that's like, dude, I have no freaking clue. I'm not living, I wasn't raised in a great home, or we had no money, or it was hard for me to see a big future. Where do you think it came from for you?
Definitely came from my parents. I'm sure a lot like you. My dad, obviously, he has 3 or 4 businesses. You mentioned Ty.
Yeah.
Ty always had a big vision and things like that. So definitely from family, my upbringing, parents and things like that for sure.
True.
So
yeah, 2 of the hardest working people I know, Ty and your dad, Kenny.
Yeah.
Man. Oh my gosh, dude. Freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Those dude, Kenny works like nonstop.
I don't know how he keeps up with all his stuff.
Dude, it's wild, man. We'll talk at like a ball game or something, and we'll catch up. I'll be like, gosh dang, dude, you are like, I feel like I work hard now.
Yeah, now he just started a trucking company. So
shut up.
Even another thing he added on.
Oh my gosh, dude. I'm lazy compared to Kenny. Okay, I am for sure. So as you look back, like you were in P&C the first year. Now you're in life and health. Why PNC, and like, how did you get into it?
Yeah. So starting out, coming out of college, like anybody, any 20, 21-year-old, I needed money. So PNC, I actually did it with Secure Insurance Group here. Wanted that weekly income, needed some money, and then did it for it's like 8 or 9 months, and it just kind of, obviously could sell and get more commission, but I was kind of stuck where I was at, I felt like. Yeah. And then Secure's main thing was always Medicare, life and health. That's what Ty did best.
Yeah. Before we get to life and health, so also what's interesting is now I see you, for whatever reason, from a business person, I see you way different now, like I do, than when you were doing PNC.
Right. Yeah.
Was it that you did well at PNC, but like. Yeah. I don't feel like you were as focused.
Yeah, I don't think I just didn't really love it. Yeah. I think, and
that really shows how important it is to actually have a passion for what you do.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like I loved it. There was a couple other guys that started when I did at the same time who went in the life and health side, and they were making more money than me, and it kind of upset me a little bit in a way. Like I want to be making more money and things like that quicker than I was, and I haven't told this to many people. Me and Ty talked about it one time, but I was kind of insurance isn't for everybody. I was kind of on the ropes of maybe doing something different or switching. And so obviously, getting into the life and health, I talked to Ty, and, their big thing was Medicare. I'm like, hey, how do I do this? And I think in my first 3 or 4 months doing life and health, I made more money than the 10 months of doing PNC.
Which was probably how much, you think?
I mean, I had a huge life case literally like 2 months in that gave me like $7,000.
That's awesome.
In my first 2 months. So I don't know the exact dollar amount, but it was definitely made more in my first 3 or 4 months I did in about 10, 11 months doing PNC. So that was a big motivator. I'm like, hey, I want to do this. So
yeah, big time. Then you're off to the races.
Off to the races.
Kept doing it. Like, how was because you've been doing PNC a little bit, then you did life and health last 2 years. Yeah. How was the first year of life and health?
Yeah, so first year life and health was primarily Medicare, still focus on Medicare. I did nothing but LIS leads, door knocked.
Those that don't know LIS.
Yeah, so those are basically we'd mail out leads to people who are already on Medicare that have a lower income that actually can change every quarter. They can change plans every quarter, so that gives us the ability to actually go in and move them throughout the year instead of waiting till AEP every year, at the end of the year, which is the annual enrollment period.
So you would use direct mail for that?
So I used direct mail for that. All we used was direct mail, and then we would show up at the house and door knock.
Would you call it all?
I never called. I always wanted, as soon as I got them, we were off to the races driving out, wanted to see them face to face.
What if you just had one lead that was like an hour and a half away?
Yeah, if we had something that was super far, I mean, we did all of our leads within a certain radius. You'll get that random one that I would maybe call, but my goal was to drive, to get there, see them in person. I probably put 50,000 miles on my car my first year. And crushed it doing that, and then built a client base doing that, and then going into my second year now doing nothing but Medicare seminars. And like you talked about at the start a little bit, I got somebody to kind of back me and invest on those. I wanted to. I knew you can make money with seminars. I knew that it worked. It was kind of a numbers game with any type of business. And I didn't want to take it lightly. I wanted to do it big. So I was like, why do it at a slow pace when I can go take someone else's money, give them a percent, and do it 5 times faster.
I love it.
And basically that's what I'm doing now.
Super smart, dude. It really is. Also, before we get to that piece, because that's actually really interesting, because I think a lot of people struggle with, the reason I'm excited about that piece, to jump in that in a second, is like, most people are like, they struggle with, there's an ego, there's a pride, there's it has to be my money, it has to be me, I can't get anybody's help. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know where that comes from. That's not, which a lot of athletes are typically naturally more coachable maybe than other people. So that says a lot about you and the way you were raised. But before we go there, when you were door knocking LIS leads and driving all over the place, you were knocking on the house. Were you trying to get in the door, or were you trying to book an appointment?
No,
trying to get in.
Trying to get in the door.
What was the pitch? What would you say?
I could probably see in our area, obviously every county is different on the plans, but in our area, I mean, you could see a plan, and within 5 seconds, I could know if I could get a better one or not. And so my goal was to get in the door. What do you have? Has someone checked your prescriptions? Do you even have an agent? Did someone sell you over the phone? Have you even talked to your agent in 3 or 4 years? And if that was the case, I was getting in the door pretty easily. And with LIS leads and doing Medicare, if you can get in the door and you're a decent salesperson, if I was in the door, I was selling the policy because I was selling them.
Awesome.
Even if I got them a plan that was just as good, they wanted me as their agent.
That's
so
good.
that was my big deal, was to get in the door.
Yep.
So
and how important, like, because there's gonna be a lot of agents that watch this, okay, and they're gonna be like, dude, I'm 23, I'm 33, whatever, and they're gonna say, okay, I'm newer to this. Medicare is intriguing. Doing this is intriguing, but they're hearing everybody talk about virtual sales, right?
Yeah.
But you did it a little different, and this would have been last year, right?
About 2 years ago.
So about 20.
Going into my second year, so kind of last year, about a year and a half ago.
Okay, 2021, 2022, mostly 2022 probably.
Yeah.
Post COVID.
Yeah, 2021 of AEP going into 2022.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're door knocking.
Correct.
What would you say to people that are like, I don't know, or I don't know that I want to do it door knocking. I almost want to do it virtually and just phone or just Zoom. And door knocking doesn't sound fun. But I also believe too, to add to this, that it's easier for an agent to get out and door knock and see people and make money than trying to do it all virtually. What's your thought on all that?
My thought with going door knocking, why I did that, and this is something Ty always taught us. Obviously, if you know Ty, he's big into Medicare. Was if you could get in front of them and show you that you were a real person. I'm not opposed to doing stuff over the phone or virtual. Sure. I personally haven't done much of it because if I can get in front of someone's face and show them who I am as a person, I promise you're never going to be able to steal that client from me. Yeah. And that's why I love door knocking. I'm a face-to-face person. I like talking to people. It's cool. And show them who I am.
It's also, I do believe if we had to go if we had 100 agents that we put in door knocking, and 100 agents that we put in virtual sales, right? And they were all on their own.
Yeah.
I truly believe the 100 that door knocking, we're going to have a greater percentage of success.
And I'll say too, calling over the phone, if I run into a client that has an agent on the phone that they never met, I have better than a 75% chance of moving them because they don't even know who that person was. Yeah, unless you're just really good at explaining yourself, sending them information.
But most people that are doing it over the phone, they're not, because they're like trying to just get as many as they can. They're not really spending time building rapport. Like you can spend an hour in a house. Yeah. You don't have to, but well, how long would you say your average appointments are in home?
LIS leads was 30 minutes to an hour. Dealing with a T65 lead, someone turning 65 new to Medicare, because I'm looking at other things that they have and stuff like that. More of an hour 15. Yeah. So trying to see everything that they got and then coming back in later on to sell them other stuff. So
Yep. About how many Medicare plans? How many Medicare or just clients are in your book of business?
Yeah. So in under 24 months, 2 years, I'm sitting around 400 to 500. So
dude, that's great.
So and that's, in my opinion, faster than I thought. And this year it's going to be this AEP will be huge, which we'll get into here in a minute about the stuff that I'm doing now.
So that's like 100. I mean, how that's a pretty salty little residual income.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like what, 120 to 150K.
Yeah. It takes 350 clients for 100K in residuals a year. So
are you as much of a numbers person as Ty?
Yeah, I am.
I am too. I love it.
Yeah, my clients say, they laugh at me sometimes because I give them all these numbers, but they like it. So definitely a numbers guy. So.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. And you know what? It's crazy. You guys are out there listening, and these people are working at freaking Chick-fil-A, and like they're homeless, or they're doing construction, or they're on a metal roof, and they're whatever, and they're just like they're not enjoying what they do, whatever it is, dude. Like 350 clients, equals $100,000.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if you're going to own a company doing any of these things, right? Like Kenny, one of his multiple companies is a construction company, you know, and builds houses and does all this stuff, but he's still got people on his team, you know, whereas a lot of people they're making what, $16 an hour, $24 an hour, $7.50 an hour. I don't think it's possible anymore, but I don't know. And you're making a little bit of money, but and you're like, I don't know if I got it. 6 figures seems so far away. Dude, it's 350 clients, you know? Yeah. And Sid is saying that, do you believe if someone would actually work hard and do what you say and are coachable, that you could help them make $100,000?
Yeah. I think you could easily make $100,000 in residuals in 3 years. It's not easy. It's going to take a lot of work.
And you did it way quicker.
Took a lot of work for us. You know, there was a couple of us that started at the same time that did it. And, but it's not easy for sure. You got to want to do it. So.
If they want to, I'm going to keep interviewing, but I'm also curious, like we've been going 13 minutes. Like if they want to reach out and just learn from you, get help, whatever. How would they do that? What's the best way?
So all social medias is pretty much Sid James or Sid James Insurance, and then obviously you're always welcome to shoot me a text or call me. So,
dude, I love that. What for text or call? What's your number?
Yeah, 417-554-3311. So
cool. 417-554-3311. 417 is the
Springfield, yeah.
Springfield, Missouri, Southwest Missouri area code. Mine's a 417 number. Okay, you'd have to watch a bunch of other videos to find my cell phone number somewhere in there, but it is. Okay, dude, I love that you're wanting to do that. That says a lot about you. That's really cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then now you've built a book of business. You can see 6 figures, and you've got all these things working. Then you weren't doing Medicare seminars until
Nope, just started those. I did one here and there. Throughout the year of LIS leads to kind of get the feel of it, learn how to do it, talk in front of people with small crowds, 3 to 4 people. So I'd done a couple before I just jumped into what I'm doing to make sure I could do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, didn't start doing them really until this year.
Okay,
so,
cool. 2023. And you've done how many?
So I've been doing, this is where the investor comes into play. I've been doing about 8 a month.
8 a month.
8 a month.
8 seminars a month.
8 seminars a month.
Mother of pearl.
Yeah,
what's the average agent do? 1 or 2?
Probably, yeah, unless you're doing, maybe 3 or 4 at most. But yeah, I've been doing about 8 a month.
That's awesome.
Well, about 10 every 2 months. So we're looking at 5 to 6 a month. I normally do it by 2 months. We're sending about 30,000, 25 to 30,000.
Yeah, because you're mailing 1 month and then doing it the next.
Correct.
Right?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So we send about 25, 30,000 postcards out every 2 months. So
how many?
About 25,000 to 30,000. Yeah.
Every 2 months.
Every 2 months, correct.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
So doing pretty big seminars. We average, with a 1% return, we're averaging about 25 to 30 people per seminar. So just this year, I've talked to probably 600-700 people already. That's awesome. And then obviously we'll keep doing them a little bit throughout AEP and the rest of the year. So this year will be huge throughout AEP for sure. So
what's your thoughts on you mentioned something when you said 600 people, like the average agent, if we do the math on let me ask you, if you had to say, okay, be really conservative. Obviously a bunch of agents don't do anything.
Yeah.
What would you say the average amount of people that someone sees, like average amount of appointments an agent actually runs per week, if we were being super conservative?
Maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. I agree with that, by the way, which is nuts. If I don't know, curious, you guys, what you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Sid says 1 or 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Think about that. We're in August, let's just say through July, we're at like 30 weeks of the year, 30 out of the 52, whatever. 30 times 1 or 2. That means the average agent would have seen 30 to 60 people so far. Okay. This year. You're a numbers guy, right?
Yeah.
You've seen 600 or 700 because you're speaking one to many.
Right.
And you're using seminars and a group pitch presentation.
Yeah.
How much has that helped your business be able to speak to large groups of people versus
a lot.
begging a single person to talk to you?
A lot. Yeah, it's helped a lot. It's just tripled the pace of everything. And a big word I used at the first of this year that I wanted with doing this and bringing on a team, I hired an assistant the first of the year to run the seminars with me, to do calls, things like that.
You went all in,
yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah. I was going all in, but the big word I wanted to do was a lot of people say, and it was funny, at 8%, it was mentioned a lot this year, was frequency. And it's all about getting in front of people, and it's all about getting in front of how many, more people than the other person is. And that was my big goal this year. Was I know the system, I know what I can do.
Yes. Get
in front of however as many people as I can, and get as many sales as I can as possible. So,
dude, that's amazing. Yeah.
So
I'm over here coughing and hacking along on the other side of the room. That does allow you to get in front of a lot more people. It creates a lot more frequency, as you said. Okay, so then now you've took an investment. Why? And what would you say to people that are like, I don't know?
Yeah. So kind of what you mentioned first, people are scared to, or kind of prideful. I was kind of that person. You want to do everything yourself.
Why?
And again, just pride, I guess.
Just like, I did it.
And maybe to prove to yourself that you can do it yourself.
That's a good point.
And I would probably be a good one. But me, like you said, with a sports background, my dad being a coach in basketball for 20 years, I know.
Great coach, by the way. Kenny was freaking awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome. So loved playing with him. But I just knew it took a team. And if you listen to you or anybody else that's made it and that's done big things, no one's done it by themselves. So that's why I hired somebody. That's why we're looking to hire someone else before AEP this year. We're adding agents on us, downlines, things like that. And so I knew it was going to take a team to get there, and that's what we did. And an investor being another part of that, I didn't want to just go to a bank and get a loan. I wanted an actual partnership with somebody, someone that wanted to be kind of not really a silent partner, not in the business, but liked insurance, liked the idea of insurance, and knew that it truly is helping people. And so that's what we did. And I give him a little percent of the business, and then he's upfronting a lot of the money. So that's kind of how we're running it. But like I said, I knew it was going to take a team. Obviously, anybody would like to do it on their own and do it themselves. But to get to the level that we want to go and the spots we want to be, it takes a team. So
yeah, would you be able? I mean, you wouldn't be able to do as many seminars as you are. Yeah. I'm guessing otherwise if you hadn't done that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
And you're doing
takes a lot of money for sure. So.
Yeah, about how many? So let's just say the average seminar. Let's just call it 30 people. Okay, is that fair?
Yeah.
How many would show up?
We'd normally say about 80%. So,
okay.
Yeah. So if you have 30 people, we're looking to hopefully have at least 20 to 22, maybe 23 show up.
Okay.
And then we're trying to sell at least 30 to 50% of those.
Okay.
So it only takes 2 sales to make your money back. We're trying to triple and quadruple it. So
yeah.
And then that's just counting the Medicare alone. You mentioned the annuity sales and things like that. That's all just cross-selling afterwards, coming back into the home. That's where you can really make a lot of the extra money.
So this Medicare will pay for the seminar.
Correct. Yeah.
Add a residual income, increase your book size. Talk about the annuity piece. So that's a lot. I think a lot of people ignore that piece. Yeah. You ignored it probably for a while.
Oh yeah. I never sold one till this year.
So. I ignored it forever. It's really got my attention now. I wish back when I was your age and I was doing insurance, I would have actually paid attention to it.
Yeah.
Talk about how, like, you've submitted 1.4 million the last few months.
Yeah.
Which is going to make you, I mean, a good amount of money. We'll say in excess of 50 grand. For sure.
Yeah. My goal's 50, at least close to 50 to an extra 100K this year from annuities. So.
Yeah. There you go. So how cool has that been?
Yeah, it's awesome. One thing with us that's really nice too is I'm with Impact Legacy Group. We have a great guy. Let's throw a shout out to Pat.
That's right,
Pat's helped me out quite a bit.
Freaking incredible. Pat Schmidt is awesome. He's
awesome. What's really cool about us and him is I can focus on the Medicare as much as I want to. I create the connection on the investment side, the annuity side. I introduce him to him. He'll handle the whole thing, and we have a program to where Impact splits it 50-50. So that's 50 to 100K. That I'm going to make extra just this year off a 50-50 split. Yeah. So obviously I'm learning annuities, trying to learn annuities, but again, since March, we have $1.4 million in pending and issued business that I've not even touched. That's and awesome. I teased a couple days ago. I didn't even know how to spell the word annuity. I've never sold one until March, and that's literally just frequency, being in front of people, bringing the conversation up.
Yeah,
that's all just extra money on the side. And when you can sell that much extra, your investor, when they get a nice little bonus check from the extra stuff like that, they're gonna be like, okay, this is working, and then it's just gonna last even longer. So you can go as big as you want it. So.
And when Sid says Impact Legacy Group, this is it's an agency, an IMO. My father, Brian Askins, and Ty James, and Matt Smith, and then a bunch of other amazing gentlemen like Roger Short, Chris Ball, Zach McElwain. Tommy Dallas,
Tom,
I'm actually an equity partner in that company, not as involved in the day-to-day of the ops wise, but it's an agency that's got where Ty is really focused on Medicare.
Right.
Matt and Pat are really focused on annuities, but it's got different divisions. Roger and them run Life Insurance Academy. It's a special group. And some of the things that are happening and going on within that group are, man, it's
awesome.
It's really cool, man. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
When you look back over these last 7.5 months this year, it's looked much different than the 70 months before.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What advice would you give to an agent out there listening today?
Probably, don't wait. Take off and go. It's not that hard to find somebody to give you some money if you show them a good game plan, a good idea. If you're wanting to use an investor, just take off and go. Ask the question.
Yeah.
So
would you ever invest in other people's agencies in the future?
Down the road for sure.
Or even acquire?
Yeah.
I think you actually thought about
Actually, yeah. That's under the works. We're looking at one right now, acquiring a business.
That's so cool. What kind of business?
Medicare space.
That's awesome, dude.
A couple hundred clients. So
smart. It's a great way to grow. I think Ty's probably shared with you. We've acquired 5 or 6 P&C agencies in Southwest Missouri, and it's been it's been great. Like it's intriguing. Like it's a way. It's like, okay, you could do it just a couple different ways, and they're all great ways. You could do it how Sid's doing it, where he's building a book of business, right? Investment or not, like he's building a book of business.
Right.
Or you have those that are like, I've got money, I'm just going to buy a book of business, right? Either way, you can end up with a profitable, cash flowing business.
Yeah, it depends on how fast you want to do it. So
true. Yeah. And you've found some creative ways to do it faster. And it sounds like you'll be at 1,000 clients, freaking rocking and rolling within.
Yeah, that's the game plan.
By the end of next year, I would guess, especially if you pull off this acquisition.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty special, man. That's really quick. You should be proud of that.
Yeah.
I interview very few, if ever, a 23-year-old that has been able to find a way to build a book of business of 1,000 maker clients inside of 3-4 years. You know, like that's crazy. But
only up from there too, so not gonna stop.
Man, that's right. Sure. But you work really hard. You know, you're a good dude. Integrity, work your freaking tail off. I love that. Yeah, I love that. And where all would you help agents? Anywhere?
Anywhere, yeah. We're talking to a couple agents outside the state of Missouri right now. So, anywhere that I can help and be the best service for you. If I'm not a good fit for you, I'll let you know. But if I can be and help you out, then love to help you out. So
yeah. Well, real quick, why the assistant?
I can't do what I'm doing without having an assistant. I promise you, if you're doing seminars as many as I am, as many people as I have, you can't do it yourself. You got to have someone answering the phone. She gets all her stuff together before the seminars. She's talking to people afterwards. She's actually a licensed agent too. Doesn't really sell, but can answer all the questions. She'll help throughout AEP, running hundreds of reviews and things like that. So that's awesome. Definitely why we're looking to add someone else this fall to help run reviews and things like that and set appointments. So that's awesome. Definitely been huge for that. So it's hard to run a seminar by yourself with 30 people. You can do it, but you can't run it the right way. You can't talk to people. She's setting up, taking down while I'm getting to truly talk to people and build that relationship after seminars and things like that. So that's been a big key there. So
it's cool.
But
I love it. What else have we mentioned or not mentioned that you would like to share in any way?
Nothing really other than, if you're wanting to learn some Medicare seminars, holler at me. I'll help you out for sure. So
cool, man. If they want to reach out once again, how can they do that? Let's give you your phone number.
So Facebook, Sid James Insurance. Everything else is pretty much Sid James. And then my phone number again, is 417-554-3311. Shoot me a text, DM me on Instagram or Facebook, either way. So,
boom. I love it, dude. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being a part of the podcast.
Unbelievable,
phenomenal job. Yeah. And we get to hang out here in the studio live in Springfield, Missouri. Mr. Sid James, thank you for being here.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Okay, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you guys for listening to the CA Power Player Podcast. Do me a favor. If you love today's episode, share it with somebody else that needs to hear this. Someone else that's maybe 21, 23, 143. I don't care how old they are, man. They need this, And let us know in comments below your favorite part of today's episode. And other episodes that you want to see or someone you want us to interview or certain topics you want us to drop, we will totally do that. Reach out to Sid, start building a book, and then eventually buy some books, man. Why not? I'm not talking about Barnes & Noble books. I'm talking about some books of business. So follow Sid James on Insurance on social, and we'll see you on the next episode. Adios.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.